I need your help. I literally can't do this without you. This is an extra special live stream from the car. My son is a reading buddy. So I got 30 minutes to live stream and I need your help. I want us to share in the chat any advice, any tips, any pieces of wisdom, some quotes, something you've heard along the way. Did your grandma tell you something amazing that you'd love to share? Some wisdom nuggets that you can type in the chat. I will read them out loud live. And I'm hoping to turn it into shorts. And with your advice and tips, we could preserve this in the form of a shorts on my YouTube channel. Hey, my name is Robin, reporting live from Ontario, Canada at 6:31 p.m. If you have any tips, advice, some wisdom, did your grandma or mom tell you something that you can share in the chat? And start with your name, like Andrew from New Zealand. You know, my grandma used to say XYZ. I would love to say it live right now with your name, give you credit for this tip or advice or quote, and turn it into like a short for my YouTube channel. So if you have any piece of advice that you're comfortable sharing, maybe something that you learned, I know Dan Martell always says, use your feed to feed your mind. So that's kind of why I'm here too. Use your feed to feed your mind. Dan Martell says, use your feed to feed your mind. Subscribe and like and engage with content that inspires you or makes you feel good or that has to do with your goals and your hopes and your dreams and the person you want to become. So this channel, this live stream, all of my live streams are always with the hope of talking about the mind, the brain, learning from each other, sharing pieces of wisdom and advice, and interacting. I love reading people's comments live. I love hearing what people have to say from around the world. It's all different time zones, all different people, and it's been absolutely like one of the best experiences. It'll probably be, I think live streaming is going to be like one of the top 10 things I've done in my life. It just feels really, really special, truly, oddly, to connect with people from around the world. So if you're comfortable, I don't know if you're just watching, I could see you're here. But if you're comfortable saying something in the chat, or if you don't want to share any advice, that's cool. Just give me a wave, give me a thumbs up, say your name if you're comfortable and where you're from. I have a guide, 14 Days to an Abundant Mindset. Hey, my name's Robin, reporting live from the car. 6:33 p.m. in Ontario, Canada. This live stream is special. I'm creating shorts for my YouTube channel. I am creating shorts for my YouTube channel, but I need your help. If you're comfortable in the chat, share some advice, a cool quote, some tips, something your grandma used to say that was so meaningful and powerful. If you're comfortable typing it in the chat, share your tips, quotes, advice, your wisdom in the chat. I will read it live and turn it into a short for my channel, hopefully. So if you have some advice, a tip, a quote, something your mom used to say, something interesting that you can share in the comments, I will read out loud. Start with your name, like Andrew from New Zealand says, you know, tip well when you go to the restaurants because it always has a way of coming back to you. Anything, whatever advice you have, tips, something that your grandma used to say. My mom always says, what you think about, you bring about. And I don't know if she invented that quote, but my name's Robin from Ontario, Canada, and my mom always used to say, she still says it, what you think about, you bring about. If you have any advice, tips, quotes, something that you're willing to share, type it in the comments, type it in the chat. We'll read it out loud. We could turn it into some shorts. I want to have like a collection of ideas and wisdom nuggets from people around the world. I've always learned so much when I live stream, especially when people are engaging, usually. It actually helps me a lot. So in the meantime, until someone's comfortable, I'll share some stuff from my book, 14 Days to an Abundant Mindset. Some, really cool quotes and affirmations. There was one from Mother Teresa, like never always leave people better off than you found them. I really love that Mother Teresa quote, and I kind of not try to live by that, but I do conduct myself in that way. I do hope that I always leave people better off than I found them, genuinely, regardless of the circumstances. So I love that Mother Teresa quote. There's a quote that we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with by Jim Rohn. That quote's a big one. If you think about the 5 people you spend the most time with, you're most likely quite similar to them. Probably within $20,000 of a similar income. Typically, like your friend group, they say you're all kind of all around the same income level as your friends. So I don't know if that's true. You can tell me. There's a handful of you on here. Do you have any quotes or advice or tips or something that your mom used to say? Maybe you had a really cool teacher that used to say something that was interesting. If you're comfortable sharing it, I would love to hear it. We can turn it into shorts for the channel. There was a quote by Robin Sharma, like, don't live, the all 75 days of your life in the same way and like call it a life or something. I can't remember his exact wording. I had quotes, 14 quotes from original thought leaders that I wanted to put in the book, but then I realized there's like copywriting issues and you can't do that. So I had to like take their quotes and recreate them into my own, for my book, 14 Days to an Abundant Mindset. Um, so if you have something, I would love to hear it. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that usually when I do live streams, I don't typically do them at night. I do them in the morning. And there's a lot of conversation. There's a lot of people sharing their tips and ideas and different perspectives, which I love hearing. But, if somebody's not comfortable saying it, that's okay. My name's Robin, reporting live from Ontario, Canada. It's 6:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Where are you in the world? Where are you watching from? Are you comfortable saying that? It's pretty interesting to do a live stream, and I don't have any chats. Thank God I brought my book so I can hold it and talk about it. But I love learning from you. I mean, I already know the quotes I know. So I was hoping to do a live stream and learn from you and hear some of your advice and things that you used to hear when you were growing up. My mom has tons of stuff. Like, my mom was full of quotes. She is full of different things that she says all the time. And I think we all have people like that in our life who would give us some advice when we were younger, say certain things, and it kind of just stuck with us. My mom always taught me to like treat everyone properly. It didn't matter if they were like cleaning the washroom or if they owned the company or if they were just, you know, security, whatever it was. My mom always taught me to just treat everybody properly. And that served me quite well, especially in my career later on in life. I would be interacting with people that I had no idea were very close to people high up in the company. I just treated everyone the same. And then it came out later like, hey, did you know who you were talking to? Like, no, I didn't know who I was talking to. I speak to everyone with the same amount of respect. So do you have any advice? Do you have something that you were told growing up, something that you stuck with, or something that someone said about life, about people, about nature, about parenting? I would love to learn from you and hear from you. Again, this is my book, 14 Days to an Abundant Mindset. It's more of a guide, as you can see. And I had to take the quotes that I loved and rewrite them into original quotes for copyright purposes. So if you're open to sharing any quotes, tips, or advice, please do so in the chat. My son will be available shortly and I'll have to go. But maybe I'll just read from my book in the meantime. But please do drop something in the chat. This is such an interesting live stream. It's starting not to feel like a live stream if no one chats. I actually prefer talking on live than recording an actual video, talking to the camera. That feels weird, talking to the camera, but live stream for some reason feels easier. So let's see. What about affirmations? What do you think about affirmations? I know a lot of people think affirmations that gets a bad rap, but I do think that everything we say is a form of an affirmation. This person's always late, or things never work out for me, or I have good luck. That's an affirmation too. So just be mindful of the things we say on repeat. They're a form of an affirmation. Let's see. Day 7. There's always a solution waiting to be discovered. That's day 7 of 14 Days to an Abundant Mindset. I remember what the original quote was of this because it was a book I read by Marie Forleo. She wrote a book called Everything is Figureoutable. I would recommend that book. I only have a couple books that I would recommend that really stuck with me and I love them. There's only a couple. And that's one of them. Everything is Figureoutable by Marie Forleo. So that quote was based on her book, Everything is Figureoutable. And my reflection for that quote is that this is a powerful reminder to foster a mindset that encourages resilience and the belief that solutions are ever present. somewhere along the line, I started believing that I couldn't figure out anything. Like any problem that comes my way, I will figure it out. I will find a solution. And like now, I firmly, truly believe that. I used to be very paralyzed with fear and worry when a problem came. And now my brain, like, literally starts thinking about how to fix it. So it is something that you can train your mind to do if that's something that you're interested in. So I'm a problem solver. If you can train yourself to think that way right away, like, okay, this sucks, what's coming my way, but I can figure it out. I'll get through it. I'm going to come out stronger on the other side. I mean, if you've noticed an example of that in your life, I would love to hear that. Have you noticed an example of a challenge or something that you were going through that turned out to be a blessing in disguise and you had no idea till later on? That's another subject that we talked about on a live stream too. And, it's really interesting to hear, like I said, stories from other people. Ooh, so this book, 14 Days to an Abundant Mindset, it has quotes, original quotes, then it has a reflection, and then it also has little small actionable steps, things that you can do to step out of your comfort zone, and then affirmations, and like I said, journal prompts. So that's 14 Days to an Abundant Mindset. So again, if you're comfortable, if you have some advice, a tip, a quote, something that, maybe you learned growing up, your grandma used to say, your teacher, somebody very wise used to say something all the time. If you're comfortable sharing it in the chat, I would love to hear it. Day 2, let's see. Belief opens your eyes to new possibilities. I have this quote. Well, it's not mine. It's that Henry Ford quote, like, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. That's a really important one, folks. Like, I don't know, that would be one of the top ones because I think everything comes down to belief. If you think it's possible, you will find a way. And if you think it's impossible for things to work out or something to happen for you, then even if the way was right in front of you, you might not see it. That whole belief thing is so true. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. That's a Henry Ford quote. I had to redo that quote. And that's how I wrote it in day 2 is belief opens your eyes to new possibilities. Oftentimes we wait for proof to give us permission to dream, but the reality is that our belief is what creates possibility. Believing opens doors that hesitation keeps shut. Step out of your comfort zone and take risks. Choose optimism. Even just live streaming, like, I'm not suggesting everyone should live stream, but I had no idea I would love it so much, like genuinely love it. And it was from stepping out of my comfort zone and trying something new and being okay with looking silly, like my gray hair showing, this is what I look like. My voice could sound annoying for some people, perhaps, but I love these types of conversations and discussions when other people interact. I don't think I've had one chat on this, but that's cool. I'm okay with that. Some might call it a miss. It might feel like a miss after this to go home and, I always give a little update to my husband. I'm like, oh, someone said this today and they wrote this and I can't believe it. And I always give him an update, but today I won't have one. I won't have an update. And that's okay. I can't count it as a miss. I feel like it's experience. I feel really excited. I was so excited about this idea. I just came out of the shower. I had to pick up my son. He's a reading buddy. And I thought, I'm going to jump on live and we're going to talk about tips and quotes and advice. And I'm going to turn it into shorts. I'm going to learn from people. We're going to say their name live, read their comment live. I'm going to turn it into shorts. And I had big dreams. I had big dreams for this live stream. And, not everything goes the way you think, and that's okay. Is it a fail? Is it a miss? I don't know. There was another quote I heard or a story about that this farmer who got a horse. This is back in the day, in the olden days. A farmer got a horse, and everyone was like, "Wow, that's so amazing! You have a horse." And he was like, "Yeah, we'll see." And then, a few days later, his son was riding the horse, fell off the horse, broke his leg, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, that's terrible!" And he was like, "Yeah, we'll see." And then not too shortly after, the army came. It was a war, and they needed soldiers to fight in the war. And because his son had a broken leg, he couldn't go to war. So the moral of the story is that we don't ever know if something's good or bad in the moment that we're in. Sometimes something seems terrible. A breakup, you get fired, something, and then you only realize months, maybe even years later, that it was a blessing in disguise, right? So who knows? I guess the moral of the story is it doesn't matter if no one's chatting on my live stream. I'm getting practice. I'm getting reps, getting comfortable feeling uncomfortable if nobody chats. I felt like this is such a great idea to the point where I'm going to do it again. I'm not giving up on this idea. I really love the idea of reading people's names on live in the chat, reading your name, where you're from, what piece of advice or quote or saying or some piece of wisdom, if you wanted to share it in the chat, to read it live and preserve it in the form of a short on YouTube by reading your name out, where you're from, reading any quotes or advice or tips, anything that you have to share, a little piece of wisdom, if you're comfortable putting in the chat. I would say it out loud. I'll say your name. I love this idea. It sounds actually really, really fun. And I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do another live at 7:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday. And I'm going to try this idea again. Where if you can write in the comments a piece of advice, tips, a quote, something your grandma or someone special used to say all the time, some words of wisdom that we can preserve. You can say where you're from, what your name is, and I'll read it live. Turn it into a short for my YouTube channel. Such a genius idea. Like, it's a genius idea. It sucks that no one's written anything in the chat. If I had another phone, I would like message myself and like chat my own quote and be like, oh, we have something here to share. Someone's written something. I think this is my first time ever live streaming and never having one chat. I don't know how I feel about it. But I guess this is, you're witnessing literally in real time awkwardness on a live stream. How does it feel? How does it look? Do you want to say something in the chat? Gosh, it's almost better when people say mean stuff. I'd rather you say something mean than say nothing at all. I'm just kidding. Hey, Gabrielle Zimmerman, you look highly educated. Oh, you're so cute. Hey, CDO Bando. Yes, I remember your name. Thank you. Thank you for writing. Thank you. I was hurt. I was feeling hurt for a second that I've never done a live stream where no one wrote anything in the chat before. So thank you for being here. Do you have any pieces of advice? Like, do you have a quote or something that you heard on a show or a tip or something that you can condense into a couple sentences here? I would love to read it on YouTube live. I was thinking of turning them into shorts, like little micro doses of like life lessons and micro doses. I would read where you're from, what your name is, and any quote or advice that you have. That usually ends up happening. A lot of times people write some really cool things in the chat, and I love reading it out loud. So I thought for sure, I was like in the shower washing my hair. I'm like, oh my God, this idea is going to be great. I have to pick up Tommy anyway. I'm here waiting for my son. He'll be out shortly. And if you have something that you're comfortable saying in the chat, any advice or something, I would love to hear it. I mean, we all heard some really cool things, like, I'm like full of quotes. Have you heard the Wayne Dyer quote that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change? I used to have that quote hanging in my house. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So it's like when you start changing your perspective, literally what you're looking at starts to shift and change around you. And it's really beautiful that when you start directing your thoughts and really taking control of them, your actual experience of life is different. Hey, let's see. Always use the bathroom when you can, so you don't have to use it when you can't. Hey, listen, that's wisdom like 101. Like, this is very important. Don't wait till you need a washroom and don't have one. Use it when you can. You see, is that Uncle Swilly Willy? It's Uncle Swilly Willy is dropping our first wisdom bomb. Thank you for participating. Okay. I was hurt that no one was participating in my game, guys. Like, I have a whole live stream dedicated to this theme and no one was participating. So Uncle Silly Willy, thank you for contributing. Always use the bathroom when you can, so you don't have to use it when you can't. Genius. Great. Wonderful. See? I think words of wisdom, they don't always have to be like this crazy deep insight, man, about life. Sometimes it's pretty practical advice, I've got some advice. You want to start waking up earlier? go to bed earlier. Is that fair? You know, a lot of people have these ideas like, I want to be an early riser, I want to have a morning routine, but we got to go to the basics, go to bed earlier, right? It's pretty interesting. Thank you for participating. My name is Robin, reporting live from Ontario, Canada at 6:50 p.m. I thought I had a wonderful idea here. I'm still going to do this. I have faith in this idea, folks. I have faith in this idea that we can share some tips, quotes, pieces of advice. Maybe you have a scenario, something that happened, you learned a lesson from it, something that I could read your name and read your comment out loud. Alex Colmer 8318 says, Robin, can you play an instrument? Alex, that's my insecurity. Well, that's one of them. I have multiple insecurities. One of them is that I can't play an instrument, or I don't speak another language. I wish that I did both. So I have a 14-year-old son. I put him in French immersion so he can speak French, and I put him in piano. Now he's in guitar. So no, I wish I could play an instrument. Alex Colmer 8318, can you play an instrument? What about Kodo Bando or Gabrielle or Uncle Swilly Willy? Can you guys play an instrument? If so, what instrument can you play? I wish I could play an instrument. I guess it's not too late. If I wanted to learn, I could. I'm musically inclined, if that makes sense, but I can't sing or play an instrument. Is it possible to still be musically inclined if you can't play an instrument and sing? I think you can, although it's hard for me to explain why. I can just hear music well. I think maybe I'd be a good DJ. I'd love to try that. Anybody know how to do that? DJ, mixing songs? I think I'd be into that. Sometimes I can hear like just a split second of a song and I'll know what it is, you know? And I'm pretty good with lyrics and stuff. So I don't know. Can you play an instrument, Alex? I wish I could. Air guitar, does that count? I don't know. My name is Robin, reporting live at 6:52. Thank you for commenting. I felt a little bit like I was just on my own here, which is rare. The live streams, usually I have a lot of chats and interaction. Not a lot, but I mean a pretty decent amount. And this one's quiet, and that's okay. It's interesting. I think it's important for me to get used to different examples, different scenarios, different ways of feeling awkward, you know. It's just, I guess it's part of stepping out of your comfort zone and trying new things. I love live streaming and hearing from people around the world. If these types of ideas, like discussions, having actual intellectual conversations, but with some lightheartedness, is part of my channel. It's something that I do regularly. If it's something that you'd be interested in, please do like and subscribe. That's something that ChatGPT told me I need to say. I have to start telling people, hey, if you find any of this valuable or if you're interested in this type of content, please do like and subscribe. I love creating. I love talking. I love sharing ideas. I would love to do a podcast with a real person sitting here where I can listen to them, you know, and learn from them and hear them talk. You know, I already know what I know. That's why I love when people write stuff in the chat, because I get to learn from you. I already know what I know. It's not so fun. I need you to make it more fun and exciting. And that's through your chatting and your commenting and your statements. The last couple live streams I had, they were really engaging. A lot of people. One of them had 351 chats in it, 351 chats. And I love reading all of them out loud, whether they're mean. I've read some mean ones that people say about me. I'll read it out loud. I wonder if that's why people watch, because they're like, this chick's reading something mean about herself. I can handle it. I'm 45. Folks, I got to go get my son here. He's a reading buddy. Isn't that sweet? Helping young people to read. It's beautiful. Giving back, doing kind things for others, trying to uplift, trying to have conversations about hopeful things or hopes, dreams, and goals. That's what I like. That's what I'm going to continue to do. And the more ideas that I come up with, I'll be right back here doing it live, sharing it with you, getting your feedback. I don't know. Is this a miss? Is this a miss? No, I don't think so. I was really excited about this idea to learn any tips, advice. Thank you, Uncle Silly Willy. Uncle Silly Willy shared some tips and advice. You know, Gabrielle, Kodo, Bando, Alex Colmer, I'm glad you're here. I hope to see your names again in the future, read your comments. I'll be doing another live stream on Friday at 7:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's only about 20 minutes before I start my work day. And it's sometimes open forum, Q&A, learn from each other. What do you want on your mind? What's going on? How can we reframe some things? Talk about our hopes and dreams and goals. I don't get a lot of opportunity to have positive, upbeat conversations. Life is pretty serious. And depending on what kind of job you have, it could be all day long, serious conversations. So some of this lighthearted, nice, easy stuff, I look forward to it. So thank you for being here. I wish you a wonderful evening, day, wherever you are in the world. And I look forward to seeing you again. My name is Robin, reporting live from Ontario, Canada.